Hey, what's going on, friends? BHVr has finally kill switched Streetwise, Blood Rush, as well as Last Stand. Let's talk about it a little bit. So obviously the community has been speaking out about these perks for pretty much the entire weekend, stating that Streetwise is giving infinite charges for, items like medkits, toolboxes, and flashlights. We tested that ourselves. It's pretty accurate and it's pretty insane. And Blood Rush is kind of giving you, essentially perma exhaustion use like sprint burst or whatever in chase, as long as you're sprinting, even though you're exhausted. And Last Stand is actually not working as intended either, because it looks like the early side of the vault animation is faster than a normal fast vault. So it's kind of giving you this finesse effect the entire time you have the perk active. They came out and they said, hey, we've heard you. We're kill switching these right away. And then tomorrow we're actually going to be looking to do an initial hot fix. It looks like they're going to be doing a hot fix on Streetwise and Last Stand specifically. Hopefully they go through and hopefully those perks work correctly. Later on, they said that Blood Rush will probably be next week. And then they also said they're going to be making some adjustments to fog vials in terms of their opacity of the fog, as well as ambient audio. And then they might look into adding charges to them as well. So they'll function probably similar to maps. So you can't just use them infinitely throughout the game. And they also made a pretty good statement. I respect them for this. This is actually what I kind of want to talk most about. They are making a change to their kill switch overall. So I'm going to read this and then we'll talk about it. As a result of our feedback and internal discussions on the same topic, we will immediately be rebuilding our kill switch process to be more nimble and better account for community sentiment. We understand you have an expectation of this tool that doesn't match how we have been using it and wish to improve this. And see, yes, true, 100% accurate. But the problem, I think, exists in our expectations of what is game breaking, because they said themselves that, hey, we reserve the kill switch for only game breaking bugs or issues, and we don't feel like Streetwise meets that standard. I think the mismatch here is, what they deem as game breaking versus we deem as game breaking. To me, anything that really isn't working as intended, that has the potential to give you a huge advantage in the game, probably needs to be kill switched, right? I think Streetwise and Blood Rush, even though Blood Rush was kind of random, it's not like you could just sprint burst 24/7. I think it was still enough to warrant a kill switch almost immediately. Same thing with, Last Stand and the Vault, because some of the clips I've seen have been insane. Once they've settled on a new process, they're going to clearly communicate the criteria that they would use to trigger the kill switch to make sure your expectations are better in line with ours. Nice, perfect. Finally, we wanted to address the comments made by the team about the kill switch. I'm pretty sure this is in regards to the community mod that I posted some screenshots of in like a video and some TikToks. We apologize for all these comments dismissed your feelings about the importance of quickly addressing Streetwise and further fan the flames of an already tense topic. So I think this is a good statement. Obviously, very political. They're always going to have a statement like this. One thing I will say in regards to the comments that the mod had made, apparently a lot of people were sending them extreme amounts of hate, which is never good. Please don't do that. What a lot of people have to realize is that usually mods that exist inside forums for the company, the ones that are kind of like the first to speak out and let you know what's going on, typically, or people that run like social media sites, typically they're microphones. They're microphones for somebody else that is telling them what to say, what to do, or telling them like what sort of sentiments to echo from the company. So, I mean, not probably 99% of the time they're not a decision maker. So please, please, please don't throw hate their way. Don't dox them. Don't be weird. You know, throw your complaints out there, post them online, try and be courteous to those people, and maybe be more emotional or like abrasive if you have to be. I'm not saying you should, but to like the company at large, just to like the situation, let them know how you're feeling without directly attacking them. They also said that we're grateful for the feedback, which helps us identify places where we can improve and reevaluate our processes, changing course when it needs to improve the Dead by Daylight experience for all. As a live game, we know this conversation is ongoing, and we appreciate you for being a part of it with us. So I just want to throw this out here. I don't want to do too many tinfoil hat things, but it feels oftentimes when a company makes statements like these, it's almost immediately after the community has been just pouring an outcry of complaints, concerns, not feeling heard. And if any of you were scrolling Twitter the other day, you would have obviously seen that. A lot of people were upset. They weren't happy. They just thought that they were kind of getting crapped on from the company that they've been supporting for years. and that their own like statements in terms of like what constitutes using a kill switch, what constitutes game breaking, like it was just falling on deaf ears, and that it wasn't really being taken serious. And I can understand a lot of people's perception, because I would kind of feel the same way. I might be a little bit more neutral on the topic, just because like I play this game all the time and I create content and I've seen this happen before. But I really, really hope what we're probably going to be looking for as like a community going forward is, do they hold true to like some of these new values that they kind of, said down here? Are they going to be trying to pay better attention to what the community communicates as something that's game breaking, as something that needs to be kill switched, as something that needs to be, have an eye put on it? Are they going to be truly taking that into consideration? Or is this just a statement that is meant to make us feel better, and, meant to make us feel like, hey, we as a company, we recognize what you're saying, and, we're going to try and change the best that we can, and we're going to reevaluate some of our systems and processes to better align with what you guys, the people, the players, want to see. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. This might honestly be just a repeated sort of procedural process of like what happens when something goes wrong. This has probably maybe already been said and done before by the company. Honestly, it's really hard to keep track. I kind of feel like we go through this like every few months or so, or every 6 months, where they cram a bunch of content at us, like The Walking Dead, Five Nights at Freddy's, Tokyo Ghoul, like all these chapters, changes to perks, adjustments, new items, and stuff kind of just gets left under the rug. Some of these bugs that existed that they didn't really take care of, they should have been aware of from the PTB. Somebody else brought up a good point, that maybe they didn't actually do any testing from the PTB to live when they, kind of made their patch, because if they go through a load screen like all of us do, wouldn't they have seen the poll, like that, the little poll that exists in the loading screen? I mean, in theory, they should have noticed right away if they played one game. Now, I don't know if they actually have to go through a load screen like we do, where it like loads assets, but who knows? Anyways, I'm done with the tinfoil hat stuff, but overall, I think this was much needed. These few perks, specifically Streetwise, I feel was probably like the most problematic. That deserved to be kill switch. I think these two are kind of like a force safe bet, because if they just kill switch Streetwise, people would have been wondering, hey, why not Blood Rush? Like, why not Last Stand? Those perks are bugged, not working as intended. Like we've been talking about them. So I think they just wanted to cover their bases up front, and then kind of, go back to the drawing board on some of this stuff, figure out how to fix them. Not sure why Blood Rush. Maybe they don't know how Blood Rush impact, or like what's causing the bug with Blood Rush. But hopefully we do see changes for everything. And as I said before, hopefully we see like permanent changes in terms of their processes going forward when it comes to the kill switch. And hopefully they can kind of, over the course of time, release chapters with fewer and fewer bugs. But that has yet to be seen. I'm crossing my fingers, but I don't have a lot of hope overall. Anyways, nerds, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Hopefully, we can play some normal games of DBD going forward. And, going back to what I said earlier, please be nice to people that are involved, the devs, etc., messengers. Try and be nice. Try and be kind to people around you. And as always, be happy, be healthy, and peace out. I'll see you in the next video.